You know what my favorite thing in the entire world is? Going out with my partner and being in a wheelchair and people ignoring me and acting like I'm nothing more than a dog. Or gawking at me and looking at my partner and thinking, why is he with that person? I mean, they're in a wheelchair and they look pretty messed up. When I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, trying to do things. And even women coming up and talking to my partner, ignoring me and trying to flirt with him. It's my favorite part of the day. Hi there, welcome back QTs. If you're new here, my name is Pax. I am disabled. I am what people call an ambulatory wheelchair user, so I do not have to use a wheelchair all the time, but I do use it for long outings and when I am trying to do things on my own that require going out for long periods of time because my legs don't work efficiently and my spine is really messed up. I have a chronic pain disorder and a whole lot of other issues. Dating while disabled has been, honestly, a lot harder than dating while trans. I think the trans thing, a lot of people are pretty okay about it, but then I have to hit them with the, oh, by the way, I'm very chronically ill and disabled. I have to use mobility aids and I'm in the hospital a lot. I've gone septic multiple times. And if I don't have this one specific medication, I could die. Yeah, not exactly the most sexy thing to bring up during a first date. I feel like a lot of us, at least I have very low self-esteem because the way society views people that use mobility aids or look sickly at all, it just makes you kind of feel icky, and it shouldn't. None of the things are bad, none of the things are ugly, but I think society has really rammed it into our brains that if you use any of these things, that somehow you're no longer sexually attractive and people won't want you because you're this creature that people just want to ignore and pretend that you don't exist. And it really sucks. It's always been one of the harder things to bring up when I'm trying to find a partner because I'm always nervous already about bringing up that I'm trans, but then I have to bring up a whole nother slew of issues and then wait for them to either go, oh, that's a lot, or I don't mind. But then, without fail will come, oh, I don't care if you're disabled. That's fine by me. Until you start actually exhibiting your symptoms, then it's a problem. Canceling dates because you're too sick. Not being able to go on these wondrous hikes and adventures because parts of your body just can't handle that. Not being able to go into big crowds because maybe you're overstimulated or you're like me and have a very bad immune system. Not being able to do a lot of quote-unquote classic date events because you just physically can't do it. And everybody has a right to be upset and not want to be with somebody because it's just not their preference, or quite frankly, it's a lot of work. I'm never going to be mad about that, and neither should you. Don't be mad at people because they realize they are signing up for something more than they can handle. However, if that is the case, you need to express that and talk about that more. There's nothing wrong with finding somebody beautifully attractive and then going, oh goodness, this is actually really hard and I don't know how to deal with this at all. For myself, my partner has had to help bathe me. He's had to help literally pick me up off the ground when I have become full body paralyzed because of a seizure. He's had to try to open my mouth because I was gagging while having a seizure. And those are things that are really hard for both the disabled person and the other person on the line because they don't sign up to be a caretaker, essentially. I'm not going to blame either side for any of that, but you are always allowed to be upset about it. It's not wrong to sit back and be frustrated that trying to find a person that you can efficiently date and that's not going to be spooked and run off because, hey, you're sick or you're disabled, maybe you're in a wheelchair, maybe you're missing some limbs, and maybe some days, yeah, you do need help with a few things. And it's understandable that some people just don't have the time or energy to do that, but you have every right to also be upset that it's so hard to find somebody that's okay with it. But however, my biggest piece of advice that I will ever give out is trying to practice self-love. I know that's silly to say, but take it from me. I was in a very toxic relationship because I had no self-love. I thought I could never find somebody else that would like me because I'm disabled, I'm trans, I'm just this little ugly creature that nobody could dare love because, hey, I'm sick. Which is not true. That's not how that works. The Through years and years, I have really tried practicing self-love, and I'm not perfect at it by any means. I still have low self-esteem for things. I still get anxious and worry. I try to express those worries to my partner very efficiently and communicate those feelings. At the end of the day, it's not his job to make me love myself. It is my job to love myself and for him to just support and motivate that. And I need people to understand that. It will be your job, yourself, to practice that. It's so hard to be able to walk around and exist in this world while being disabled, because having long-lasting friendships and relationships feels like the biggest struggle on the planet, because you have to cancel hangouts. You have to, awkwardly tell people, no, I can't actually do that. And you try to not be the center of attention if you have any form of mobility aid or have any kind of episode while out and about with friends and people don't understand what's wrong with you. And not only that, just the whole process of, again, not being able to turn up to events because you're too sick. I've lost friends over that, and I don't blame them. I get it. And it's something that I can try to work on, but at the end of the day, you're sick. And finding that one person who understands you and doesn't push you and is relaxing and gives you that sort of comfort is so important. And I need you all to understand you should not settle for less when it comes to that. Just because you found somebody who's decently nice, but they may mistreat you, please run. Don't sit back and think, oh, well, this is probably as good as it's gonna get. Chances are nobody else is gonna wanna date me. And that's a lie. That is a lie, and I need you to understand that. You are beautiful or handsome, wonderful person. And you should not limit yourself to love just because you assume and feel like you are undeserving of that. That's wrong. There have been many times that I would go out with my partner and I've taken my walker or a wheelchair. And yeah, I feel like the center of attention. I feel awkward and people straight up ignore me instead and go to him. We were out hanging out with our nephew and there were mothers trying to hit on him, ignoring my presence while I am barely a foot away from him, clearly hanging out with the child and doing something either as some form of caretaker and trying to rally this child around. So either we look like we're married and have a child together, or we're just a caretaker. And they just ignored that. Because why would somebody in a wheelchair be with somebody tall and attractive? That's ridiculous. I mean, you're in a wheelchair, you're disabled. You don't get with tall, attractive men. And again, that's just ridiculous. The amount of people that assume that these gorgeous people that are with disabled people and they go, wow, you could do way better. That's just so weird. Like, why would you be with them? Is obviously so unbelievably ableist, but unbelievably messed up to say. People are more than just their physical body. Yeah, they may be in a wheelchair. Yeah, they may need help, or they may be blind or missing a limb. That doesn't change the fact that their soul radiates beauty and kindness and love, and they can connect with somebody on a deeper level than anybody else ever has. And that is the important part. Love is deeper and more vast than just physical appearance. There's always room and the ability to find ways around being able to go on specific events and dates and being able to accommodate you and your partner, whether they have any form of physical or mental disability. If they enjoy, going to rock concerts and it's one of your favorite things, there's always headphones and other options. Because again, disabilities are just there. I mean, they are obviously a part of you and they will always be a part of you, but you are more than your disability. And people that can see beyond that and are willing to make the effort to help you and accommodate you, those are the real ones. And you should never lower your expectations just because somebody is saying, oh, I'm okay with that, until they aren't. and start to harass and bully you because why aren't you cleaning? Why aren't you doing this thing? I thought you said you were going to do this. I pay the rent, so you need to go and do these things, which has not happened to me. Thank God. Last relationship, that's a whole nother story. But I have seen the financial abuse. I have seen the terror and fear because we so often can barely afford to live or even go to work. A lot of us are trying to get on disability and are trying to get away from bad situations, and then we find somebody who says, oh, I will love you forever and all that you are. And it's a messed up, ugly lie. And I get it. I've been in these situations where you can't really see the red flags at first, and you shouldn't just immediately assume red flags from everybody and run and never pursue love. And that's why practicing the self-love, taking that time. Don't just hop right into dating because you're lonely. Do it because you want a partner for life, not because you need to fill some void because you're lonely. You need to be comfortable with being alone and with yourself. And I know that sounds crazy. That sounds weird. But it is one of the most important life skills I have ever learned is the comfort of loneliness and the comfort of being with myself. Because once you accept that and are okay with that, anybody you meet who tries to bully you or do anything to manipulate you, requiring your disability, you will be able to sit back and go, you know what? Nah, F this. And again, that's easier said than done. But you, at the end of the day, deserve so much love. And if you are watching this and your partner is disabled and you're trying to figure out ways to help them and be a better partner, communication is always the biggest thing. Always try to communicate and sit down and ask, what can I do? But not only that, if you are a person dating somebody who is chronically ill or disabled, you are always allowed to sit back and go, hey, I love you with my entire heart. This is a lot. I need to go and focus on myself for a little bit and just relax and desensitize. You are always allowed to sit back and say, I can't do this at the moment. And some people may say, that's cruel, that's messed up, but you didn't sign up to be a caregiver. You signed up to be a partner and love somebody. And you should not be forced to also be a caregiver. And I get it, and you're okay. There's nothing wrong with trying to set boundaries on both sides. Both sides are allowed to have their own set of boundaries that people should respect. It's hard to vocalize that want because you feel so embarrassed or scared that the other person is going to be upset. But communication, just try to communicate. I have my Discord and I am always open to try to speak with people. We have a vent one where people can try to ask for advice and try to understand, better ways to cope with things. We are not, a therapy group. We are just a bunch of trans and usually chronically ill people also trying to survive in this messed up world. But I want you to know you're not alone. You have a community with me and the love that I can try to share and bring forth to all of you as best as I can. Because it's so debilitating feeling like you can't pursue love, that you can't pursue the things that you want, all because of your illness or your disability. I'm there, I've been there, and I am with you 100%. And I will try to help where I can and listen where I can. Thank you so much if you have made it this far. I would love to give a big, warm shout out to all of my lovely Patreons, to my $5 Patreons, Seraphi, Tawny, Deshikish, and Izzy. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. To my absolutely stunning and gorgeous $10 Patreon, thank you so much to I Don't Need No Gender and Nightmares. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so, so much for supporting me. You don't even realize. It's crazy. And of course, how can we forget the absolute amazing, stunning, gorgeous, wonderful $100 Patreon of Noah. Thank you so much for supporting me for all of these years. Oh my gosh, that's insane. You guys are so amazing and wonderful. You have no idea. These are some of my longtime supporters, and you do not realize how much the support means to me and how much it helps me. And I really love and appreciate you all. And I will see you guys on the next video. And I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are around the world. And hey, drink some water. I'll see you next time. Bye.